So to have them engaged in a reading and writing activity, I would encourage them to read and write their high frequency words by using magazines and newspapers. They can, I would suggest kid-friendly magazines, but if they go in there, they cut them out, they can practice, rewriting the words, but they're finding it in real life text. It's not just you telling them this word is the. THE spells the. They're finding it in something that they'd actually see at home or at the grocery store. Moving on to your small groups. This is the 4 groups that I divided your class into based on the assessments that you gave them. So I hope that, you see the similarities in the groups that I created based on the assessment. So I don't get to see them all day long and observe them like you do. So I'm sure you see, who's with it and who's not with it. We can't always judge them just based on paper and pencil assessments, but I don't know.
Well, it looks pretty good. The breakdowns look pretty good here. The group breakdowns. Like Chase, I would put him in either group 1 or group 2.
Yeah. He was borderline because he's at that, middle high level, so good.
Okay.
But, again, these are recommendations. I'm not forcing this on you. You have more experience than I do. This is me just trying to, give advice to you, just like Kim would give to you, or Julie. Let's see. So my suggestions for your small group. So group 1 and 2 really need intensive support with letter ID and phonemic awareness. They had really low scores on their both DIBELS, letter naming, and first sound fluency. I would suggest working on letter ID with this group, taking it by a few letters at a time during your small group instruction. So since we've done, I think so far this year we've done letter M, S, A, and T, I would just keep it with those few letters instead of trying to do all 26 letters at a time like we can with group 4. By singling out those letters, then they'll get more familiar with it. And I have these really great RTI binders that I found on Teachers Pay Teachers that I'd be happy to share with you. You just put them in a page protector, and they trace with it with the dry erase marker, and it's just focusing on one letter at a time. So they're saying the letter, they're writing the letter.
Oh, that's good for the low groups. That's great.
Yeah, and I'll give you copies of it. I have a ton of stuff I will give to you the next time we meet, like on next Tuesday, whenever we sit down again. Let's see, what else can I say about this group? Oh, I would say this group, more tactile things like using the Play-Doh mats or writing in the salt or the sugar inside of, the top of a shoebox. This would be something that would benefit these 2 groups. Tongue twisters would be fun for this group to practice familiar songs with the same initial sounds. Group 1 will be receiving RTI support from the reading specialist, so from Kim or Julie, 2 times a week for 30 minutes. So during this RTI period, she'll reinforce the same letter and phonemic awareness skills that you're doing within the classroom already. But this group needs to hear it more than once, so that's a good thing. Group 3 needs support with their comprehension skills. Because they scored core in both letter naming and first sound fluency, and I think that they scored pretty high in all the categories except comprehension. That would be a good point for you to start with them at this point of the year, and then see how they keep up as the year goes on, because they might look good on paper now, but then when they have to really apply those skills, you don't know if they can keep up.
Okay.
Thank you for being a good mentee and listening to me. Let's see. A stop and think would be good for our monitoring their meaning. So as they're listening to you read, or if they're reading on their own during the small groups, just periodically ask them to stop and make the students think about each part of the book for understanding. Are they just decoding and reading their sight words, and they have no idea what they just read? have them stop and think. In group 4, they scored very well overall in most of the categories. So I would say that they should work more on word recognition. I would take it past the high frequency words that Reading Streak gives you and give them, you could give them, go ahead a few weeks and give them those words, or you can give them words that aren't even within our 40 words. Why not? Because when they go to the library with their parents or reading books within your classroom, there's more than just 40 high frequency words. So help them. Give them first grade words.
Okay.
Or take them from the Dolch word lists. And that's what I have for you for that. But again, they're all recommendations. I'm not here to force you to do anything.
Well, it's good to have reinforcement of my opinion.
Yeah. And it's nice not to just always take everything from Kim and Julie. It's good to, bounce our ideas off each other.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that's not at the kindergarten center, so we all have each other to talk about these things, and you're left behind here at Morrison. So,
well, true.
So I can always share my things, but all right, thank you. And any questions? I mean, I'm still here. We still have, 15, 20 minutes before you have to go back, but email me, call me, text me. We have
I appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right.